Okay, so we're rolling. My name is Dov. I'm an agile coach, like a lot of people that you're going to talk with, I guess. And the reason we're having this conversation is because I got an invite from you to this intriguing conference, this intriguing thing called the, the Agile Manifesto 20th anniversary, something, something.
Yeah,
Right?
well, the names are a little bit random. I like the name happening, but I'm not sure it translates into different languages.
Okay. So this whatever something something happening, and first of all, I would love to hear how come.
Okay, it's really a little like a summation of a few things. I actually woke up with a dream, so I dreamt Friday night after a hard week of doing in the Agile salt mines, and I woke up on Saturday morning and I thought, isn't it interesting that a lot of what we do is we do a lot of reflection and retrospectives in our teamwork, but as a community we don't really do it. Some of this just came with the general work I've been doing lately with teams, which is it's all about COVID. It's all about the change in work. Lots of people and business models have changed. Lots of things have changed. And a couple of things fed into that. One is my friend Craig Coburn had been reflecting back to the 10th anniversary and was saying 20th is coming up. We should maybe do something. And then Jim Benson had contacted me about reviewing his new book, and one of the things I was talking about was, wouldn't it be good if we did some kind of reflection? And Jim said, yeah, that would be interesting. So when I knew when Jim was interested, that one, I would do some more experiments and see if anyone else was interested. And that kind of kicked the ball off. Initially, it started off maybe like a one-off event. I think there was a few one-off events that were separate around the world back 10 years ago. But given where we are with COVID, and given where we are with business, and if you look at the Harvard Business Review, the Agile Executive was the front cover for July, August. Agile itself has become such a phenomenon over the last 20 years. I thought there's probably not one event, but we should try and do something where other people's ideas about what they want to do came in. So I started basically just a consultation period, linking in with people to see what they'd like to add into the ideas. So what's interesting is this is an opportunity to reflect, to celebrate, perhaps to inspect and adapt and improve, but also to understand. And when I went to speak to Harrison Owen, Daniel Mesick took me to hand to see Harrison Owen. He also put in who we are and where we're going is a great point. And I think at this COVID reflection point, given the disruption to all industries and also in our own industry, I think that's a really important question. So yeah, I've been trying to facilitate or build a vehicle to ask all of those questions and any other questions that people want. Because what I've found is that many people have different viewpoints on this and want different things out of it. So I'm trying to build this reflection thing that just looks back, celebrates, brings things forward. And hopefully helps us as a community to understand ourselves and visualize it. And in visualizing our community, perhaps there might be some things we want to improve.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like you're trying to solve all of the problems of everyone, including the real industry and us as agile community, whatever, in one go.
But not one go. It's going to be, I think there's the opportunity here for a series of events and a series of great talented people to come in and do a series of things. So we started off with a group of people in a room in Snowbird, okay? And there's a couple of things there. One is there was inclusion. So not everyone was in Snowbird, and people were doing Agile before Snowbird, even though it wasn't called Agile. I'm a Deming guy. I was doing Deming back in way before Snowbird, and and looking at just how the whole the lean approach to respect for people, visualizing things, it's all there. So it's not like it really isn't like a few people went off to a room and came up with something. But what they did in the lightweights method session was they almost kicked a chain of events off that did a cascade that got us to where we are. So some people are interested in the history bit, and I'm thinking, Well, if you're interested in the history, you can join the history stream and you can document the history. Because one of the things I know from the Deming Institute and things is, as people get older, as people retire, as people move on, as people leave Agile, stories are there and stories can get lost. So capturing that, it really turns some people on. Other people are maybe newer to Agile and they really want to know, how can Agile help where we're going? How can we use it in places other than software development? How can we use it to do things like help the planet? So that exploration laboratory, what can we do with this? And how can we help it with, beyond software, is also quite exciting. And again, everything in between that. Some people just want to celebrate all the good things and highlight the great stuff. Others, want to, just want to try and do some healing in the community, because I think, as it was said to me the other day, I mean, we was yesterday, yeah. We always preach non-hierarchy, but we're one of the most hierarchy, cliquey organizations around. So holding that mirror up is going to be interesting as well, because some of our behaviors, we might not like to see them in the mirror. So this confuses people. So Joanna Rothman, 50 times she said to me, what's your overarching goal? And my overarching goal is emergence. And I'm going to go back to what Harrison Owens said when I met him, right? Whoever comes are the right people. Whenever it starts is the right time. And whatever happens is the only thing that could happen. We've produced a little bit of a website because some people wanted to get more data and details. And on the website, we've also started asking people what they want from the event. So the website is www.agile20 in numbers, reflect.org, and I'll put that in the video notes. And on there is research data, as about 60 people have said everything they want. But we've also got who's involved, and there's now about 106 people, in the Slack group. And we're going to have a meeting on the 3rd of September. And in that meeting on the 3rd of September, I'll be a little bit clearer of what that overarching goal is based on what the input from everyone else is. And to be clear, my kind of leadership style in this isn't, I've got an idea and this is the pattern and we're going to do it. So I'm not coming with a blueprint. What I'm doing is coming with some enabling constraints, which are, wouldn't it be great if we came together, sharing these values, and can I unleash the creativity in everyone to do things?
Yeah. I have two questions that you sort of answered, but I would love to have a more explicit answer.
Go for it.
One, you talked about an overarching goal. If there's just one thing that remains in, let's say, 1 year from now that will make you happy, what would that be?
More dialogue, people talking in different parts of the community. So I think at the moment what we've done is we've all kind of moved onto our own island. I think we're into poetry at the moment. I know we're going to have a poetry work stream. But, no man is an island. But what we've tended to do. So one of the things I've been involved in is Heart of Agile, which is almost like, well, we're going to do Heart of Agile over here. We're going to do Scrum.org over here. We're going to do SAFE over there. And there isn't really much communication. What really part of that came home to me was when I did a memorial for my friend Martin Burns, and I realized that in the discussion area, I had to set up a SAFE group and I had to set up a Lean Agile group. Because to have all of the people from SAFE and all of the people from Lean Agile together might have been a little bit difficult and not have psychological safety. So again, if we create some safe spaces where people can talk across the community and actually see the human in each other and actually see the good in each other, and break down some of the in-group biases that are on the go, that personally for me. But that's not what the event's about. That's just my personal thing. I just want to break down and create a greater sense of understanding. And
so, again, what is the event about? What's the one thing that will shine a year after the dust settles?
I have no idea, and I'm less concerned with that, than I am about doing this wonderful experiment, seeing what happens, and seeing what actually does emerge. And I guess, and I know not everyone's happy with uncertainty, But yeah, I'm going into this holding the framework, and whatever happens, I do mean this, whatever happens is great. So if you've got a great idea for something you'd like to do, right, it could be an Agile 20th year whiskey tasting, and you come to me and go, Scott, can I do a whiskey tasting and get people around the world drinking whiskey and talking about Agile? And I'll go, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you about my idea, just thinking out loud when I talk to you. The one thing for me that is mostly missing in our, um, I don't know how to call it, like exchanges, wars, a methodology thing.
Discussion.
What?
Discussion.
Yes, discussion. Okay, why not? Is the aspect of mindfulness. Like one thing that inspires me a lot is a version of the Book of Tao, which is translated into Agilism.
Ah,
And
okay. Sounds good.
yes, so all of this aspect of the mindful aspect of the Agile. Hold on.
You're going very quiet. I'm not sure what's happened. Can't hear you, Dov.
Here, I'm back, but
That's
with
better.
some. Okay, so I hope you don't hear the noise in the background.
No, not at all.
So what I wanted to say is that the thing that is missing for me in all of these, you call it discussions, yeah, sometimes it's more charged than discussions, is the mindful aspect of agility. At the end, we're there to help the others, not to apply something, but to help others. And we take listening and containing someone else's needs and feelings and aspirations for granted, I feel. So perhaps I would push to a track, I don't know, I would try to inseminate a track of this color, which I think goes well with the heart of Agile as well.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say there is, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if you went to university, but when I went to university, the first day you go there, you matriculate, and then there's a freshers fair, and next to the matriculation, they try to do things like they take blood, they try to sign you up for other samples, and then you go into a hall, and the hall is full of lots of tables, and in all the tables, people are trying to get you to join up to things. So the football team, the debating team, the karate team, the judo team, the fencing team. Yeah, I would actually like this to be lots of people's in that freshers fair idea having different tables. So you would have your table, and you try and attract people to it. And if people wanted to come and build something, and you have some events, then we do it. What I would say is, if you're an Agile practitioner who hates mindfulness and thinks it's nothing to do with software development, what I don't want you to do is to go up to your table and kick it over. I want you to go and set your own table up and attract people to your viewpoint. I'm very clear on this. This isn't about saying what isn't Agile, right? This is about everyone coming together and celebrating the things that we can do in Agile and experiment and see where we go next. And it's not about knocking anyone else's table over. Yeah, it's about putting your own table over there and doing your own thing. And I think there's enough scope in here, if we have multiple events, for everyone to find something that they feel happy in. The quote, the oak doesn't grow in the cedar's shadow. Yeah. So be an oak tree, get your own shadow. If you want to do Scrum, do Scrum. If you want to do a debate around about safe and non-safe, set up a debate between safe and non-safe. Have a discussion. If you want to, celebrate the works of Wingman, yeah, James Groening, yeah, have a night where you just talk about TDD and everything else. Yeah, it's entirely up to you what you want. If we want to have an Agile karaoke night, we can do it. Okay, but for God's sake, don't go onto Twitter and say this Agile 20 reflection thing is terrible because they're doing all these things. It's not about that. Come and build. Don't knock down.
Okay. And the last question that I wanted to ask, again, you answered it implicitly, but I would like an explicit answer. What's your role in all of this?
I'm I'm actually trying. So I'm building some scaffolding that I'm hopeful things will happen. I'm going to go and play in some things. So one of the things I want to do is I really want to start a YouTube channel. So instead of having a meeting where we have Alistair and Dean Leffingwell and people coming along talking about Agile and we all sit and clap like a seal with a fish, what I want to do is get everybody to do a keynote. And that's everybody, all over the world, everywhere. And these keynotes are going to could be like little TED Talks, 10 minutes, and it's all about what you love in Agile. And if I could get 2,000 people, 3,000 people all to record these little messages about what it means to them and their context and where they are and who they are, I think the rich diversity, I think, will be so exciting. And personally, that's what I want to do. So that's the kind of thing I'll get involved in. But I also want to hold the framework. And the reason I want to hold the framework is I really don't want, this is a grassroots thing, and I want everyone to be part of it. And I don't want anyone or any organization coming over and taking it over and dominating it. And what I mean by that is I don't want, there's been lots of discussions with lots of organizations, and I don't want this to be seen as a Scrum thing or an Agile Alliance thing or a Heart of Agile thing, and or any one particular thing. It's all of our thing. So I'm almost like partly holding the rights to this to stop anyone else taking it over, and at the same time trying to do leadership from the back of the room. So like today on the Slack group, I'm promoting guest leadership. I just set up a channel for anyone who wants help and anyone needs help to kind of get together in a bit of a swap shop there. So by that, setting the culture, setting the scaffolding, and I'll see what happens. And we're going to have a stakeholder group. So I think the stakeholder group will have the power. I'm going to sit back and do leadership from the back of the room. Stakeholder group might look at the events, and if there's anything there that isn't in the spirit of what we're trying to do, I really think that's where the kind of the query and challenge would be. And I'm just really here to enable people.
Okay, and from what you say, I know I said it's the last question, but I have another last question.
You can have as many last questions as you want. I'm sure we're talking all year. It sounds like there's no observers. There's only participants. Hopefully, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
How
isn't that life?
Physically?
Well, it'll all be virtual. It's all remote. We could scale to what we want. The other thing is, I don't want to have one big reflection event where we all log in, because I know from doing things with Rowan Pitchler and things, once you get beyond about 20 people, you can't interact anyway. 200 people on a call, all you're doing is watching. It's a television show. You might as well stream it. But what we could do is imagine, instead of like having a central reflection thing that people get involved in, the local meetups hold one. Yeah. Or you could even get a few meetups together in an area having discussion. You could even get different types of meetups, getting together. And if we had some kind of common way to get that information back through an API or something, we could then record it. And we could then hand that over to academia and say, this is what the community thought of ourselves. So this whole idea of local community practices, local meetups, local groups, local businesses, local organizations, anyone being able to feed in and do their own local thing, I think is really exciting. So it's completely scalable. Okay,
thanks a lot. Up to now, and it's been only a few days, it seems like an exciting project.
Yeah. So
we'll see where it goes and where we lead it, in fact.
Yeah. So this is a message for the viewer. It's a viewer. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, come on board. Come with your ideas. Just try and a couple of things you got to do if you're coming on board is try and forget all the arguments and hassle and everything else that you might have had in the past, and try and suspend your skepticism, and then just go into the trust circle, right? And don't let your participation be led by the scars of the past. Yeah, let's come into this in trust, and let's see where we can get to. Come on board. Guest leader, do what you want, build what you want. If there's any conflict, the stakeholder group can help with that, and that's why we've got old wise minds on that one. Okay, but come bring your energy and build what you want to see.
Thanks a lot.